Hey Stalkers, Evan here from Stock Music Musician, and today we've got a fun video on how to use one of the great new features in Reason 11.2, Midi export. Now, if you're a user of another DAW, you're probably thrilled at the idea of having Reason 11 and all of its wonderful instruments and tools and players and utilities and all of that, but you might have been frustrated by the inability of getting Midi from within Reason devices and getting it onto the sequencer of your DAW. Well, this video is going to show you exactly how to do that. But I do want to let you know that there are some features this is not going to explain in this video because they're a little more complicated. That is, I'm not going to show you how to take MIDI data from a Reason player and export it onto your sequencer. That's going to be in another video. It's going to be in the same playlist, so you can just go over and click it there, and that'll tell you how to do that. I'm also not going to talk about CV voltage. That's for another day. This is just the simplest use case of taking something like a matrix or a Dr. OctoRex and using that information to trigger something fun and exciting. Okay, so let's go. Damn good coffee. Okay, so here we have the Reason Europa. This is a really powerful synth, and what I've done is I've gone and attached it to a matrix, which is a pattern sequencer. If you flip the rack over, in order to get the matrix to control the Europa, I've taken the gate CV to the sequencer CV, or to the sequencer gate, and the note CV to the sequencer CV. If you want to know more about how to use all these Reason devices, I've got a free cheat sheet. If you're new to Reason, you're really going to find it helpful because it'll show you exactly what each device does and its best uses. So now I've just drawn in a little bit of a pattern here on the matrix. These are the keys. This is the note, and this is the velocity value. And what I'd like to do is have this actually control this note information, not just control the matrix, but maybe also layer it up with a keyboard. So I've just, if you notice, there's this little note here. I've just dragged it onto the sequencer, and there you go. But because this is in 1/8 triplets, it doesn't line up with the grid. So you could either change the scale of your grid or just have it in a standard form, and then here we go. When we drop it into the electric piano, you notice it matches up perfectly. Now I can play them simultaneously if I wanted to layer something. Or if I just wanted it on the electric piano, I can disable it by hitting pattern enable, basically pattern disable, and now it will just play on the electric piano. Or I can now take this MIDI data, which I've copied, and put it onto Europa, and now they'll both play. Or maybe I also wanted to use the same pattern to trigger some Latin percussion to loop over it. So it's a really powerful, quick way of getting more information out of your tracks and out of your sequencing. And this will work for quite a few Reason instruments like Dr. OctoRex, which we'll see in a second, and it will work for utilities like the Matrix Pattern Sequencer, but it does not work with any of the players. Like I said, that's going to be a separate video, and we'll get into that in that video. The next use case, you could say, is to take a Dr. OctoRex, which is a loop player. Let's open that up. And here I have a percussion loop loaded up. We need to hit enable. And so let's say we want to extract that data. So I've copied it now onto a sampler that has various pieces of Latin percussion tied to every key. Let's disable loop playback so we won't hear Dr. Rex anymore. And the thing you should notice is with Dr. Rex, the slices are different sizes, meaning it actually exports a groove, which is why this can be really helpful, even though each slice has a different note value, which makes it less helpful. There's plenty of ways to transform it. So this is just the way it randomly sounds. It's not even mapped to all the instruments right now, but But now what I can do in Logic, for example, is select all the notes by hitting Control A, going to Functions, going to MIDI Transform, and going to Random Pitch. But instead of doing random, I can do fixed pitch. And now this will make all the notes the same. You see they're all down here. Now we'll just drag them up and up and up. And now I could, for example, put it on the bongos or timbales to make it more interesting. Come on. I don't have Smart Snap On for absolute values. Of course, then I lose the groove. So anyway, I would want to nudge it over a little bit. And then, so that's the groove there, but then what you could do is just start to remix it on the fly with high and low timbales and all of that. And so using these Rex rhythms can really get you started in some great places. You'd probably also want to select everything and go to the velocity. You can either do a random velocity or you can actually select one of the cool things in Logic being a velocity tool. And so, you can quickly make them louder and softer to add even more groove, because that's not going to be contained in the Rex data. And so now, and so there you have it. I hope you found this really helpful. I hope this is going to take your journey to making music and pursuing your passion for making better music a little further. Download that cheat sheet if you're getting started with Reason, because it's really going to help accelerate your learning about all the powerful, beautiful devices in Reason. Thanks so much.